That's why the streets is a myth. You can't be big, bad, and tough. And meanwhile, when the landlord come through, I'm from Crown Heights, so you know how the landlords look. They come through, do. Yeah, give me my rent. You paying up. You ain't saying, get out of my face. I'm taking this crib. This me. If you really, you know what I'm saying, do what you do. If you ain't, streets is a myth. If you making mad money and you ain't trying to move your mom out the hood, you ain't real. That's a fact.
I'm talking about the streets ain't
real me.
Being street don't have shit to do with paying your goddamn bills and shit. You can't just tell the electricity company, go to the electricity company and hold a gun to their hand and say, nigga, keep my motherfucking lights on. Now, okay, you may be a street nigga, you may know how to plug your electricity to keep steal the goddamn electricity. But that particular metaphor and all that stuff, I see where he's going with it, but these type of metaphors and stuff don't really make sense to the point that he's trying to get across. What up, though? This your boy DOC. Hey, I want to do a quick little commentary on the situation that's going on with Troy Ave. He did an interview with DJ Self, and I'm going to play some of it so you can hear it. I'm going to get my commentary back and forth throughout this. You know what I'm saying? I really did this as a live stream, but I did it unlisted so I can go ahead and get it together and make it, present it to you guys the best way so it don't be all just dragged out, awkward pauses and all that stuff. You feel me? But now this is one of the very first questions that DJ Self end up asking, boy.
Somebody, like somebody on the streets and say, "Oh, Troy Ave is a snitch. He was snitching. That's why he's doing this."
You can't snitch on camera. Something that starts on the internet, you can't double back and say any street rules apply. And third, where's the paperwork at?
Okay.
Where? And fourth, how you going? You don't fight with hands behind your back. If somebody ratting on you for something that you really didn't do, what you supposed to say? Just hold it down? Anybody that would say that, they either a hater or they don't know how the court system works.
Now, let me go ahead and jump in right quick with what Troy Ave talking about. Because I done had this discussion with multiple different people. First and foremost, even myself, being in jail, unfortunately, or knowing multiple people that have been locked up before, it's never been a situation where people didn't got caught on camera doing something. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different of a circumstances with this particular situation because the police have only showed the public so much. But this is the question I want to ask people, and this is something I have discussed with other people before. Say, for instance, you in the streets, you doing your 1-2. Yesterday, you flipped 50 bricks, right? Yesterday, you did. You flipped 50 bricks. You got to connect with the cartel, everything. And you get charged, you get blamed for a murder that you didn't do. Because you're in the streets, you supposed to take that charge. Just because you in the streets, you supposed to take that charge. Because someone is accusing you of something that you know you didn't do. You don't have the rights to be able to say, to defend yourself, because defending yourself don't necessarily mean that you are telling on someone else. That narrative that we've been hearing, say for instance, either certain media outlets or certain public figures, salute to my son or whatever the case may be. He made a video about it. It did a ton of numbers, you know what I mean? But a lot of people that have the same ideologies and I'm talking about on this particular situation as my son, majority of these people are tax friends, right? And this video is not to bash or talk down or anything. We're going to go by the facts based off of the different things that they're discussing inside of this particular interview. You know what I mean? One, it's videos I made way back in the day when this situation first happened. The news only showed a certain clip showing Troy Ave with the gun. Then the information that the news anchors put out said that he brought the gun to the club and basically shot himself and shot his friend Banger. Rest in peace to Banger. So basically, put yourself in them shoes. You come to the club with a gun, right? an altercation break out. You, the one with the gun, right? And the only people that got shot is yourself and the people you came with. Do that even make sense at all? That's the reason why a while back when I reached out to Troy Ave for an interview, and you see we still haven't completed it, he was like, you were the only media outlet that wasn't just on some pure hate or smear campaign that could see through the bullshit. Now, people got to keep in mind, during that time when I did those videos, when it got around the end where I stopped doing the videos, I presented some paperwork, the paperwork that was available at that particular time, where the police talked to the people in Florida. That original gun that was used in that nightclub in Irving Plaza that night, that original gun originated in Florida. They talked to, we're going to say the guy name is Hugh. They spoke to Hugh. Hugh admitted that he bought this gun from said store. Hugh admitted that he sold this gun to a guy named, we just going to say his name is Jeff. They caught up with Jeff. They spoke to Jeff. He said, yes, I bought this gun from Hugh. And I sold this gun to Taxstone. So basically, you already got a connection to who is responsible for having the gun, correct? Now, as time went by, I think Tax was still out. He was doing his podcast, different things, did his West Coast run. And Tax had a hell of a show. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that I hate that this situation even happened, because Tax had a hell of a show. And during that time, Major without a deal, even though Troy was going through his situations with the media and all that stuff being called Troy Average, he was doing his 1-2 as well. So I hate that this situation even had to happen and someone ended up losing their life. But while Tax was out and Troy Ave was locked up, they did ballistics on that gun. Of course, we know Troy Ave fingerprints was going to be on that gun because we seen the video of him holding that gun. But one of the key things was they found Tax fingerprints on the trigger and on the magazine. So common sense, or two, what do you think as a police officer, if they not only find your fingerprint on the trigger, but they find it on the magazine, what do you think that leads them to believe? What do you think that leads them to believe? I want y'all to leave comments for what you think that would mean. Now I'm going to play a little bit more of this interview.
And they ain't looking at nothing, like the real honest truth. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to sit in jail for 2 months and lose out on millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? If I was going to tell anything, I could have came out of jail immediately. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. So then after the fact, you look at it and you be like, well, damn, we got real actual paperwork of this man saying that you was involved in this crime and that crime, and like Troy Ave's a bad guy and it's Troy Ave's gun. Like, hold on, that's the real paperwork. That's somebody really snitching. Fortunately for me, that wasn't true. Mm-hmm. And the FBI found all that out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like, you ain't, when you go to court, you gotta, anything that's on camera, you gotta tell your side of the story. Like, mm-hmm. What are you gonna say? All right, well, Troy Ave, we got you for murder. You killed your friend. How did I do that? How? When I'm supposed to be like, yeah, I'm gonna hold it down. I did that. Mm-hmm. No, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? And then, hold on. It's just so much that I can't get into. But anybody that know the real facts, only a sucker, only somebody that can't look past their feet is gonna have anything to say about that, because all the facts is out there if you really look at it. Where the paperwork on me? There's paperwork on the other side. It's on camera. Street rules don't apply to anything that happened on the internet. Okay. Straight up. It just don't. You know what I'm saying? But
now, there's something within what he's saying right there I'm not going to say I 100% agree with. Because yes, this situation did start on the internet. Both these individuals claimed to be, or claimed past tense to be, quote-unquote gangsters or in the streets, this and that. So that's where, once again, like I said at the beginning of this video, where it's a very conflicting situation, because yes, it ended up being something that's caught on camera. When you do a crime and it's caught on camera and then the police come to you, unless you're just going to straight up fabricate the situation and, basically perjure yourself and get locked up for lying, you can't say, oh, I didn't have the gun at all. You can't say I didn't shoot the gun at all. You know what I mean? That's where we had the conversation before when we was talking about, what rights do you have in a situation? Like I said before, even if you was flipping 50 bricks yesterday, if someone pins a murder on you that you didn't do just because you in the streets, you just supposed to take it. Majority, I'll say maybe 6 or 7 different people that I spoke to that, of course, they don't want to come on YouTube or nothing like that and talk about anything. But when I talk to them about this particular situation, from a non-bias, just providing what the facts say, with the paperwork and everything, and show them video clips with the news and everything say, each and every one of them, one of the dudes been in jail, did hella time, which it, for attempted murder. Other people for other gun charges, this and that. All of them said that you do have the right to try to defend yourself. Now, it's a difference. It's a total difference between now if you starting to rat on the other person or point the finger at the other person. But you do have the right to make the courts prove that you are guilty. You don't have to just go up there and take a charge. Because at the end of the day, Troy and Tax in this particular situation, even though people are looking at it as Troy versus Tax, people are forgetting a crazy element in this. It's still both of them against the judicial system at the end of the day, because if it was up to the judicial system, I don't care if this happened in New York or in Detroit or whatever the case may be, they don't care. They don't care. They will, if they wanted to or could, they will lock both of these individuals up for the exact same crimes. They will pin the murder on both of these individuals. They'll pin the shootings, regardless to the extra people that got shot, everything. They will pin all that on both individuals and lock them both up. And that would mean you would have one person in there that didn't commit the murder and one person in there, if they both just stay silent. Now, my thing is, once again, this is caught on camera. That's what makes the situation so crazy, because at the end of the day, we have only seen the camera footage that they put out just showing us about Troy. We don't know what other camera footage that they have that's showing anything else, on top of that they already spoke to the people in Florida with the guns and placed the gun already inside of Tax's hands, showing basically, allegedly, or however you want to word it, basically from their end, they would assume that, okay, Tax must have been the person that brought this particular gun to court. Now, if they're trying to figure out, which that would be a crime within itself, correct? Because I'm assuming Tax may have already been a felon or whatever, so he don't supposed to have no gun. So I don't know if they being tedious with, like, who was the aggressor in the situation, this and that, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Because from what Troy Ave has constantly been saying through this whole situation is that basically that the gun was put, a fight ended up breaking out. But if you notice, even with him saying a fight broke out, I took the gun from such and such, or whatever the case may be, he never speaks on prior to that. He starts his story off saying that, okay, the fight happened, whatever. Then he took the gun, and basically, when they showed the video of him shooting, that's him trying to get up out of the place. We don't, that ain't for me to get into too much detail about that. But there's other things inside of this interview that they're talking about that I want to talk about, because they asked him about his song "Streets is a Myth," and that's something that he's been saying for a while. Streets is a myth, and I see a lot of people kind of not agreeing with it for the fact because they feel like, oh, well, you was portraying the gangster role, so how all of a sudden now? So let's see what else he's saying.
It's mad stuff I can't get into, but after I go to trial,
when is your trial?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Straight up. I would say the sooner the better to get it over with, but that ain't always the case. You don't want to get in and out, but the truth gonna come to light. And then God willing, however it go down and go down. But until then, I'm gonna keep dropping all this music in case I gotta go away. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lead the people with something. I'm gonna make sure my kids is fed. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel your music has changed since,
1,000%.
Okay.
You passion, whether it's good, bad, you hate it or love. I look at it, man.
How are you still making money? How are you making money?
Because
let's fast forward a little bit to when he asked him about the Streets is a Myth
my
part.
music actually be streaming. I'll be doing numbers. I was trying to get you to play a record when I first started, and you was like, hey, man, but look, no matter how much the haters try to block you, they always going to get tired because I'm going to keep shooting.
The streets is a myth. That's very,
okay, here it go right here.
Controversial. Streets is a myth. Explain.
Basically, it's the perception. Everything that you was told about people that was trying to make the rules in their favor. You know what I'm saying? That because, all right, if you look at street rules got to be applied all across the board. If we all go in somewhere together, we all leave out together. When you experience that not happening, then that means streets is a myth. When when you supposed to hold your man down regardless, your sis, your bro, when guys be dying, it be the bros that be trying to take down their baby moms and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Streets is a myth. Most time when people get killed, it be treacherous homeboys that be lining them up. You know what I mean? Streets is a myth. When you go to jail, where all the friends at? They don't take care of your kids at all. Streets is a myth, dog. Matter of fact, you look at, man, a lot of the people that free my dog Rum. He been showed me and exposed me all these fake triple OGs and whatnot.
Okay.
You look at all these triple OGs running around holding all the streets down. Where all the homies at? They be holding them down when he locked up. They don't be there. The burden fall on who? Their mama. That's a fact though. It fall on their mama. It fall on some poor chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me your income tax. Where I need help, baby commissary. Like it's all frauding. Like sometimes people be dying and they homies don't even ride for them. They be chilling with the other side. It's mad disloyalty, it's treachery, all kind of stuff. And then I feel like you can't be successful listening to direction of the unsuccessful.
Ooh, okay.
That's a fact though. So like it's people who, when I was coming up, I used to see they used to have brand new Moschino and all kind of Jordans and all kind of fly stuff that I thought was, oh man, they getting money. That's what I said to myself, they getting money. You know what I'm saying? You always got blunts and all kind of stuff. Then when I started doing my 1-2 coming up, and then I surpassed them, and then they came to me like, yo, yeah, I heard you got it. Yeah, no doubt. Hey, I hit you with something. I hit them with a little nothing. 6 dudes, 28 yams, which was
allegedly.
Okay, but allegedly. The statute of limitations passed. I'm not stupid.
Okay,
fact,
I got you.
I hit them with something low, which is nothing to me. They're like, oh, word, good looking, I'm about to front this person and that person, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot to you, dog. It was perception to me at the time. It felt like
perception is something that's crazy. Regardless if we talking about street shit, the Troy Ave and tax situation, perception is crazy because you can have two different people in the same situation, different states, different circumstances. For example, you can have people that's in the streets. You think the person that's only copping zips, breaking them bitches down to nicks and dimes, is going to have a different perspective, a different outlook towards life and the game and the streets and everything compared to the person that's getting in bales, that's getting in tons and everything. They both hustling, but they in two totally different positions in life, and they going to look at situations totally different. That's why a lot of times with myself looking at situations compared to some people, I can tell by their perspective if they more on this quote-unquote savage. You know what I'm saying? The savage is basically out of survival. You know what I'm saying? Out of survival. Yeah, the person that may be not myself, but the person that may be higher up the ladder may not be on some survival stuff. It's more of a duck and dodge situation because they're trying to keep an operation or whatever going. You know what I mean? That it's going to be different circumstances for different individuals. You know what I mean? And it's true. I have seen individuals where certain people or whatever, they may get knocked down and get killed, and they homies don't do shit about it. They don't ride or do anything about it. You know, they'll pour out a little liquor, you know what I mean? They'll get drunk and fucked up about it, and they don't do shit about it. And then they'll make you look in the situation, well, if that was me, if I was the same group of people, if it was me and I got killed, that mean after the fact, after my funeral, they not about to ride for me. They not about to find out who did this, or even if they know who did it, go do anything. These motherfuckers just move on with their life. Now, on the opposite side, you do, and I'm not glorifying anything. We strictly talking from a street perspective for people that's playing on this side of the game. You know what I mean? On the opposite side of the coin, you do have some people out here that do abide by these rules and do, you know what I mean, do what they supposed to do after someone get killed, or if they go to jail or anything like that. What make this circumstance, because everybody got an opinion on what they would do in this particular situation, but never been in this type of situation. One, two, this whole thing is caught on camera. That's like if you go into a CVS or Walmart or Piggly Wiggly or whatever the fuck type of store is in your area, and you go in there and rob that store, and they catch it on camera, and it's multiple individuals that came in with you, or some people that's already there, whatever the case may be, the only thing you really can do is base your defense off of what evidence they already have. A lot of people are thinking that the evidence that's presented against either Troy or Tax is coming out of one or the other's mouth. Now, until this trial is over and we see all of the rest of the paperwork that come out, then we'll be able to say, okay, did someone rat or tell? But from the information that's already provided, it's 26 letters in the alphabet. I'm talking about they damn near already got 26 of them letters already lined up. Because honestly, as far back as this situation happened, this situation possibly would have already been done and someone would have already been sentenced if someone was talking. It's because, yes, you have both of them fighting to either get less time or not to get the charges, and that's rightfully so. That don't necessarily mean that one or the other may be at this particular time pointing the finger or exactly saying he did this, that, this, and that. Because there's already enough evidence that's been located by the police, as far as research, like I said, in regular shootings and stuff like that. Like if someone come in, kick in your door right now and shoot up the whole crib, and God forbid this happen, the whole crib gets shot up, the dog gets shot up, everything gets shot up. If the state or this local police put enough money into a situation, they could damn near find out exactly where a person was standing at when they were letting off the shots, by the direction, how the bullet holes went in the wall, how the bullet holes hit you, direction the inner wound and exit wound. They have multiple different ways to be able to tell shit to find out information. You know what I mean? So that's what makes this situation crazy, because basically, by the way this happened, the track record of being able to go back to when they was using different things that Tax said, either in podcasts, the arguments, or whatever the case, back and forth on Twitter and all this other stuff, to be able to trail this cookie trail, it's really almost impossible for people, any one of them, to just skate out of this situation scot-free. Like someone, if not both, more than likely is going to do some time behind this situation. The important part about this situation is for others to learn from other people's mistakes and understand, like, all this disrespectful shit that's going on online lets me know a lot about people. You can disagree with a person with respect. That shows your maturity. A real gangster ain't got to prove that they gangster. This situation should have never went there. And I'm not going to blame media. I'm not going to blame, but media and everything else can throw fuel on the fire when you dealing with men. Men at the end of the day do have pride, and people do have egos. So if you feel like that you getting publicly bashed and it's a smear campaign, and you got the gatekeepers and everybody aligning up with certain individuals, and if it's this situation or not, people pride get involved, and now you just basically got two volcanoes waiting to erupt, and then unfortunately they end up being in the same place at the same time, and then this happens on camera. People tend to forget, and I'm going to put the links in the description so you can go back and watch these videos. Now, when you watch the video with me putting the paperwork up in the background, you can listen to what I'm saying, but I want you to turn down the volume on that video and read the paperwork for yourself. Just don't go by what I say. Read the paperwork for yourself for what the investigation and everything else that the police have done already in this situation. You will be able to piece together. It ain't about piecing together the puzzle of who did what, this and that. This is your way of being able to piece together the puzzle of what information the police already have, to see, like, where is the room to snitch at, going off of how this is playing out so far. Because this happened a while ago. Like, and not just agreeing with, I don't agree with everything that Troy say. You know what I'm saying? I never looked at Troy a certain way, like media and everything, because I come from a certain type of cloth. Yeah, Detroit people may not be as aggressive and all that like how New York people are, but I grew up listening to not only West Coast music, New York music, and seen movies, and met just a couple people from out there, and that's just how they are. So I never took offense to how Troy Ave talked, how he acted, how he moved. That was the 1990 way of how most rappers from that area was. You know what I'm saying? But that it's hard to blend that into a sensitive society that we in right now. You know what I mean? It's a difference between being humble and just being an ass kiss or just being timid and weak. You know what I mean? And it's a very crazy situation. Now, I'm gonna play a little bit more of what this interview was about because he do talk about some other stuff. Hold on. And I'm trying not to
Was
make
doing
sure these
something. It's
phones
like
and
when you
shit don't
young and you
die.
see somebody, man, he's mad tall, but then you get older and that person's only 5'4".
Okay.
It's perception, dog. And the perception, if you really sit back and look at it, man, none of the people that make the rules, the real rules, like, this is why the streets is a myth. You could be the toughest thug, you done murder one game down, everything. Go to jail, you do a stretch, 15, 25 years. You come home, now you working a construction job with your dirty boots, dirty jeans, and you got some boss that have nothing to do with the streets at all, some foreman, and he's telling you, hey, Charlie, get in there and go do whatever. Mm-hmm. And what you gonna do? You gonna go do it like a sucker. You feel me? If it's really about that, take the job, rob the job. You just be all the way street. Don't be street when it applies to when you want it to apply. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If this why the streets is a myth. You can't be big, bad, and tough. And meanwhile, when the landlord come through, I'm from Crown Heights, so you know how the landlords look. Uh-huh. They come through, do. Yeah, give me my rent. You paying up. Mm-hmm. You ain't saying, get out of my face. I'm taking this crib. This is me. Mm-hmm. If you really, you know what I'm saying, do what you do. If you ain't, streets is a myth. If you making mad money and you ain't trying to move your mom out the hood, you ain't real. That's a fact,
I'm
though.
talking about the streets
you ain't real in me.
Being street don't have shit to do with paying your goddamn bills and shit. You can't just tell the electricity company, go to the electricity company and hold a gun to their hand and say, nigga, keep my motherfucking lights on. Now, okay, you may be a street nigga, you may know how to plug your electricity to keep steal the goddamn electricity. But that particular metaphor and all that stuff, I see where he's going with it, but these type of metaphors and stuff don't really make sense to the point that he's trying to get across. For real.
Not my eyes. Okay. If you just cause you got a dope car, that don't mean nothing. Half the time it's rented. Dope boy Chuck, all my cars paid off. All my homes paid off.
And money
cash.
don't make you a real
nigga.
nigga.
You know
and
what
I'm
I'm
not
saying?
saying
I
that
put people
against
through
Troy.
college.
I'm saying
Straight
period.
up.
Money
You know
don't make you a
like
real
the right
nigga.
way. So
It's many a fake hoe ass niggas out here with
it's
money.
just so much stuff. I ain't prepared. I just came prepared to play some new records. Okay. And you know, we gotta get a free. I ain't get a freestyle in a while. It ain't gonna be a freestyle. I just wrote it in the car, and I'm still writing it. Cause I ain't one of these rappers. Yo, I got the bars for days and I hit them in a maze and my psychological, man. That's Coney, man. I make records.
That right there,
money. And they say
agree with it or not,
why
that's
they
a part
say
of the reason why some people, and it's cockiness and it's arrogance and people talk shit in the rap game. But like I say, the era and society that we in right now, if Troy Ave was talking like this in the mid 90s, early 2000s, people wouldn't have a problem with what he's saying because everybody talks shit during that time. But now we in the era and society where you can't say anything but to, you know, him saying, oh, people that can rap or got lyrics or whatever the case may be, they corny. That's generalizing a lot of people where it would offend a lot of people if that's their craft and their talent and that's how they paying their bills and that's how they get money or that's how they choose to rap. That's the same way if it was vice versa. If someone say, oh, you a reality rapper or you a gangster rapper or if you talking about selling drugs, you corny. A person that do that possibly will get or will get offended. So that's why I say I understand sometimes where the public perception of him come from, but they allow. That's why I like to, and I don't know if I can't remember if I did or not, but to start off videos to say to take your personal opinion and take your personal out of this particular situation. Take out if you was more of a Tax fan or if you was more of a Troy fan than the other. Take all that out. Take out if you don't like how he talk about certain subjects and stuff like that, and strictly go by the facts of this situation. At the end of the day, both of them fucked up. You know what I mean? It's different if this situation happened in the alley and no one else seen it and they just both got it on in some situation. It may have been wiggle room for someone to possibly get off in this situation. But even if it happened in the alley and they still did all that background to find out where the gun was, because the gun was found. Once the gun was found and them serial numbers weren't scratched off of it and all that stuff, and they was able to link it back and all that, that made it bad. That made it